Hello and welcome everybody to another VRML cast. I am your host, Juice, and we have a good matchup here right now against Eco and 8 Basils. And before we get started, I want to say if you are new to the stream and you are not subscribed, make sure you guys subscribe and make sure you guys also like the stream. We're on the road to 600 subs right now. So let's see if we can get that, and let's go ahead and get into this match. First off, I want to go check off the VRML website. We're going to see what ranks these teams are. They are both gold, ranked, I believe, 16th and 17th place. Let's see. Eco is gold in 16th place, and 8 Basils is gold in 17th place. We will go ahead and check out the connoisseur votes. The connoisseur votes are in favor of 8 Basils 5-3. So it's not really a big jump in the votes, but it's still in favor of 8 Basils. And on the leaderboard, I mean, they are neck and neck, right next to each other. So I'm hoping this will be a great game. Seems like we are waiting on one more person to join, but after that, we will be getting right into this. And I also will be having a co-cast here soon, my good friend Scorch. So once he is here, I'll have another person. But like I said, make sure you guys are liking the stream, subscribing. On the road to 600 subs. All the players are here, so let's see what map we are going to be voting on. Check out the rosters first. So, I guess they're switching sides, so let me go ahead, before I forget, to put these names on. 8 Basils will be starting out on the defense, and Eco will be on the attack. So the teams for 8 Basils is Dynamite, E2 Smooth, Hehe, Blue Slayer, and Malicious Panda. And on Eco, we have Evil Yart, BT, Crust, and I guess I'll call that guy period, or Dot. I'll call him Dot. Dot and hashtag. So, his names are kind of, I don't know how I'm supposed to, I don't know what they like to be called, but Dot and hashtag is what I will be calling them. And our first map we are going to will be Arctic. So round 1, 8 Basils on the defense. Eco on the attack. We have a mid-floor site, and let's see how this site is pushed. Two seconds. Okay. Oh, let me actually call Scorch. It seems like he will be here now, so hopefully he picks up. Come on, Scorch. Answer the call. And he is here. What's up, Scorch?
What's going on?
What is good, my man?
Alright, I just got home, hopping on right now.
It's all good, and we are off onto the first round. Seems like we are having a bit of a B push. We have a drone coming out from Crust, so let's see this drone work. Seems like he's going to be droning in through green, so let's make sure drone out these flanks. We do have one player on 8 Basils sitting in red, but the vent is not broken yet, so they do not, not able to see him in there yet. Let's see where the drone goes. It seems like it's going to go towards the flank, maybe. It seems like it's just going back and forth. Foam is already on the B wall. Blue Slayer sitting by the red rocks, and Malicious Panda is in the connector room. Drone is shot out by Hehe, so they know there's one in red. Both B-walls are open from this Eco team. They are moving in fast. They toss the foam, or they toss the EMP rather, over to BT to try to get this plant down. He is crouch walking through the static. He gets the EMP down on the wall. Nade comes out from Blue Slayer. It doesn't get the pick. It actually brings him down a little bit, but the EMP is down, and it's still a 5v5. No one has been killed yet. So 8 Basils needs to move a little faster. Let's see how Malicious Panda is going to play this. Crust is sitting right outside the breach wall, waiting for them to touch the EMP, and he throws an instant. Good EMP denial as Evil Yart gets 2 picks from outside. BT did pick out hashtag. BT takes out Malicious Panda. And it's now a 4v2, and Evil Yart takes out he and BT from outside. Takes out Eco. So good round from Eco. They're able to take this first round, and they only lost 1 player, but they were able to move very fast in getting the walls open and getting the EMP down. Blue Slayer did throw a grenade, though, onto the EMP plant, but it didn't kill BT. It took him down to about a quarter health, but good job from Eco to win that first round.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what happened in round 1, but based off of how you were casting, it did seem like it was a little bit of a fast push here there from Eco, and it seems like 8 Basils might have taken a little too long. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah,
It might have taken a little too long to plant the EMP or defuse the EMP?
Yeah, well, Eco actually got the EMP down, and everyone was alive. It was still a 5v5. They pushed in
5v5? That's pretty rare.
Yeah, that's like something we used to do on our old team. We used to be able to get the
Oh,
EMP
on Got
down
Now?
really
Yeah,
fast.
yeah.
We used to be able to get the EMP down really fast. It was always funny. And now we are off on to round 2, and we actually have a lot of buys coming out from Eco, even after winning that first round. Hashtag has an oral and an instant and a stem. And, ooh, he playing outside the B wall is able to get a pick off on the hashtag and runs back into sight. So, early pick from 8 Basils. Maybe Eco pushed in a little too fast there and lost a player. Foam is now on the wall. Dot pops the wall open. E2 Smooth gets in, sent off, and BT's able to get the pick. And Evil Yart actually got a nade toss and was able to get another pick from the back of A, or back of B rather. So He's sitting close on this half wall on the default plant. There are trips on the wall, but BT didn't see the trips, and he dies to the trips and drops EMP, and he goes for the swing, takes out 1. When he go for the swing off the Eagle Yard, he gets a headshot, and then he gets the pick. So 8 Basils coming right back at them and getting the thrifty.
Yeah, it seems like they got the thrifty because of the pure it was Eco that seemed to have full confidence in there and kind of almost full buying there with hashtag getting that Aril. Ended up costing them, however. I did like the play on he pushing up, getting that immediate pick. That's what we need to see, Juice, and that's what we've been saying in past casts is people need to play aggressive on defense, and he played them almost perfectly.
Yeah, what I think happened is the drone, whoever was following the drone, they didn't wait for him to check that back corner. So he was able to get that pick without the drone even, like, droning him out. So once he got that, he just ran back into sight, and just like that, it became a 5v4, and then they ended up getting that thrifty and winning the round. So kudos to them. And we also saw a trip mine kill, so we do need to make sure these drones are checking out the default trip spots. So we're off on to round 3. It is now 1-1. We have a full buy from DT. It's the only Vezin in the whole round. So let's see where this drone. Do they have a drone? They do have a drone. Going into kitchen. Will it check behind the ping pong table? It sees E2 Smooth out into Green Hall, but it did not see Blue Slayer, and F-tier instant from E2 Smooth. Won't get any damage off that, and hashtag is actually coming through kitchen right now. He will see E2, and E2 with the gun disadvantage is able to take out hashtag, and he gets, whoa, he has control of their foam now. So they're not going to be able to get this wall open, so they go over to get that foam, and Evil Yart shot his teammate in reverse friendly fire and killed himself. Unfortunate. And just like that, 8 Basils up 5 men to 2. And Crust is going to go for a swing on the kitchen, making not a lot of noise. He's able to take out Blue. And BT also gets a grenade kill. And Dynamite with that Omen is able to take out Crust, and it's now a 3v1. BT with a Vezin. I think he's just going to go for the save.
Yeah, Juice, I'm finally in the game. With technical difficulties, I'm officially in the game, and I I noticed there. I like the defense that 8 Basils is playing. They're being aggressive, and that's like I said. That's what we've been saying in past casts. That this is how teams need to play on defense in some situations, not all, but in some situations, especially with 8 Basils being down around last round. Playing aggressive really did not affect them at all because the other team could have had those guns. So I like the aggression that they're playing here, whereas now it's an even playing field, and 8 Basils said, "Listen, you won the first round quick and very fast. Let's see if we can put that aggression back towards them." And so far, they've been doing a great job.
Yeah, they have really been holding down the fort, and like you said, they are playing outside of the sites. They're playing around where the pushes are coming from, so they're able to stop them from even getting to foam on the wall. And as we saw early on, I forget who died in kitchen, but they swung into kitchen with the foam. So once, I forget who got the kill. I think it was E2 Smooth. E2 Smooth got a pick onto the person with the foam in kitchen. So now they have complete control of the foam, so Eco couldn't even get the wall open in the first place. So maybe whoever had that foam, if they are going to go to kitchen, make sure you get that main wall open for your team in that, what do you call it, that little gym area.
Yeah, and you were kind of pointing out, they are playing off site, and I like the way that they're playing. The team is realizing that they don't need to play officially off site and kind of like play retake here. They're playing just barely outside site and taking control of rooms that are kind of essential for attackers to take control of in order to officially kind of set up their push for that site. So I like that they aren't being super heavily roaming, and they're just playing right up in their face, saying, "I dare you to even enter the building,
Yeah,
let alone get in the site."
Yep, and as we see, E2 Smooth sitting on the breach outside of B with a Hurricane. So he's gonna try to make some magic happen. He's gonna throw a smoke to try to block off this drone. And whoa, he actually grenaded his own teammate, I think. E2 Smooth shoots out the drone, goes for the swing, but he's taken out by BT. E2 Smooth with that Hurricane didn't get any hits. I believe the drone got shot really fast, so the drone did not get the checkout for the trip. So let's see if BT does hear the trip. So he shoots him out, crest big foam onto the B wall. It is a 5v4 in favor of Eco. And the whole Eco attack is outside of B on this wall. So BT's gonna throw an ensign. And this is, there's only one throwable for the 8 team. They have one ensign, so they have one try to deny this plant. And wait, didn't they just throw something? I swear they just, where did that ensign go? I hear it, but I don't see it. Where did it go? What?
I think it might have landed on the box, possibly.
I don't know what happened to that. We'll have to get a replay on that. As Dot takes out Malicious Panda. EMP is down from hashtag. It is a 5v3. Eco is holding down this EMP as Dot takes out one behind the B bomb. Hashtag gets a little aggressive, tries to clean Hehe, but Hehe denies him very fast. Hehe grabs that Oral rather, gets a pick off onto Dot, gets a second off onto BT, and it's now a 2v1 in favor of Eco, and Crust is able to hold down the fort and take out Hehe to tie this game back up 2-2.
I want to go back to that E2 Smooth push in the very beginning of the round. I liked the thought. The thought was there with the Hurricane trying to kind of deny them from entering, especially with that one-shot capability from close range and not really having to worry about hitting the head. I think there he played a little too aggressive. He got droned out, and I believe he got shot through the smoke as he got droned out, and instead of pushing back towards his teammate, possibly pushing up to next to the next corner, he just decided to push out where he was susceptible to not one but two angles there, and it was just it was just unfortunate. Not necessarily a bad play from him. Maybe it was a little bit of a misplay. But however, Eco took advantage of that, it being a 5v4, and ended up winning the round.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, If he would have gotten a pick, then we would be saying, oh, you know, it was just a 1-for-1. But,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
so I mean, it's basically a toss-up right there. It's a pick.
It is.
And we actually have almost a full buy from Eco. They have 5 Vezins and 1 Oral. And on 8 Basils, they have 2 Omens and 3 Marui. So gun advantage is in favor of Eco right here. Let's see how they push this, if they're able to get foam on the wall very fast. We have 2 players of 8 Basils playing out or in red. Blue Slayer sitting by these red rocks. Drone is going out into red, and they see E2 Smooth. E2 Smooth does shoot the drone open. Is the vent open? Vent is still closed. How they push this. The default B wall is open. Nate comes out, doesn't get the tags. Second B wall is open. He gets a headshot off on the dot outside the main breach wall, and Hashtag is droning from inside of green. BT gets the EMP down on the wall. Will he be able to get it down? He does, and barely takes any damage. Drone is shot out, but Eco able to get the EMP down with only 1 player dead. And E2 Smooth takes out 1. Hashtag takes out Dynamite. Blue Slayer gets a pick off on the BT after he planted. It's now 2v4 in favor of 8 Basils. Malicious going for that EMP defuse. And it seems like he's going to get it. E2 Smooth actually got a good 2-piece right there. And that is the round. 8 Basils with a good retake right there. And Eco, they're getting the EMP down very fast.
I was going to say that was a beautiful retake from 8 Basils. They realized the plant got down quick and did not panic, and they did not lose anybody after the plant got down. I love that retake from 8 Basils there to secure them the dub on round number 5.
Yeah, that was really nice. And I like how Eco was playing with getting the EMP down fast, but the problem with it sometimes is when you get the EMP down and there's only 1 player dead, you're just gonna get either swarmed by the whole defense at the exact same time, or you win the round. It's one or the other. In 8 Basils, they were able to pretty much just take control of that EMP. E2 Smooth going out into that hallway, getting those last 2 picks, and they were able to secure the round.
Yeah, giving yourself that much time and giving the enemy that much time in that situation, you just got to keep your numbers, and unfortunately they were unable to do so. It's kind of hard to defend an EMP when it's down to a 2v4.
It definitely is, and just couldn't get the picks.
In some situations,
Yes.
With hatch plays, it's usually pretty easy. But in that situation, there wasn't a hatch.
Yeah, that's definitely a very hard spot to hold if you don't have the number advantage on the attack. And we have a quick push from Eco again, and whoa, off on the kitchen side. Dot takes out E2 Smooth. The E2 Smooth didn't get a pick off on the crest. Nade comes out from Blue Slayer and takes out Dot. So just like that, 3 players are dead. 2 off on the Eco, 1 off on 8 Basils. Nade come flying out from Hee outside the green hall. Doesn't get any tags. Who has foam? None of these Eco players has foam. And BT started the lag on top of the ensign and dies from that incendiary. And within a minute, it's a 4v2. Eco, Evil Yart, and Hashtag, they don't have possession of the foam. Hee getting a little aggressive right here. Whoa, actually kind of a good nade toss. Doesn't get any damage, but Hashtag able to swing and get a headshot off onto Hee. So slowly getting. But once again, the utility not being droned out. Evil Yart going for a swing on the Blue Slayer. And Blue Slayer able to take out Evil Yart, and we have a 4-2 half in favor of 8 Basils.
Yeah, 8 Basils played that defense very well. I am very impressed with how they were able to come back from the 1-0 deficit and win the next 2 rounds. Unfortunately, they lost a round again. Then they ended up winning the next 2 rounds after that. I'm impressed by how well that they played defense there. They played aggressive and they played numbers when needed. As for Eco, I feel like they played a little bit too quick. I feel like if they slowed down a little bit and started to establish a push rather than just kind of play it as quickly as possible, it's possible some of those rounds could have gone differently. It's really hard to say with how well 8 Basils is playing right now. I don't know. Maybe it's the side on this map, but who knows?
Yeah, you never know. I mean, getting 2 rounds on attack isn't bad, so hopefully Eco, maybe they're better at defense.
Yeah, it definitely isn't terrible as we get into round number 7 here. 2 minutes, 25 seconds left on the clock. Blue Slayer pushes up with E2 Smooth droning on towards green, realizes no one's in green. They have complete control of green. BT takes out He on the flank. Nade goes out, gets no damage done. However, Malicious Panda and Dynamite knows that BT is over there. BT decides to rotate drone, pings out that he is no longer there. They could possibly push in. It seems like they still think that they're in. However, BT is working in his favor because he pushed all the way back up to site, possibly getting a rotate on E2 Smooth. Let's find out. Blue Slayer is pushing up towards red hallway here. There are shots being drawn out. BT gets the kill on Dynamite with trips. What a beautiful trip mine play on round number 1 to start the second half. BT pushing up in red, seeing if he can get that E2 Smooth pick. Like I was saying, however, E2 Smooth is watching. BT needs to have his gun up when he's pushing. His gun's not up, and E2 Smooth pushes up, takes out BT. Is now down left to a 3v4 in favor of Eco. Eco for Crust takes a little bit of damage through the door. Blue Slayer goes over, gets foams the wall. They're about to blow it. Crust gets some wall bangs. No hits, however. Wall gets blown. E2 Smooth takes out Dot. He's pushing up, trying to find another. Cannot, as hashtag takes him out. Evil Yart takes out Blue Slayer. We are down now left to just Malicious Panda as he pushes up, tries to, and almost takes out Evil Yart. However, they played the numbers advantage there, and they ended up winning the round 3-4.
Yeah, good round there from Eco. And like you said, who was it? BT having his gun down when turning that corner. He just wasn't ready for that player to be sitting there crouched in that hallway, and he was just taken out. But, I mean, defense still won the round, but you got to make sure you have your gun up around any corner, because you never know where an enemy can be. Like, and when you die to those situations, you're like, oh my lord, why didn't I have my gun up right there? Because just, when you play this game, you'll run into, like, the rattiest players. Like, people will sit in the most conspicuous and just downright weirdest corners, so you just gotta be ready at all times to take a gunfight with someone.
Yeah, especially that close to sight there. Obviously, it was an insight, and maybe he didn't realize it. But again, like you were saying, people play ratty, and not only do people be like, why did I push my gun down? But other people say, why is he sitting there? He's sitting there to get the pick on you, and clearly it worked. So you just got to make sure to be prepared at all times, and no matter what, just always have your gun up or in a form where you can push up just in case, no matter if it's a corner or not. Anyways, as we get into round number 8 here, Cross playing a little bit aggressive, does not get the pick, however, takes out the drone to prevent any other further intel. Going up towards site, Blue Slayer, Malicious Panda, and He take control of this little corner, along with Dynamite. Dynamite pushes up, gets taken out by BT. BT pushes up, takes out Blue Slayer. That's 2 for him. Can he get the third pushing up? He takes a lot of damage on Malicious Panda. The nade he doesn't see the nade. Evil Yard gets taken, or takes him out. He gets the double pick, but Dot refrags him.
Oh,
as
man.
we get a 4-4 round. What a perfect refrag for refrag, and it was just that was a great team effort from both teams. Just unfortunate for 8 Basils that it went in the way of Eco, and fortunate for Eco that it went in the way of theirs, because that was just beautiful team play from both teams.
Dude, that was so awesome from Eco's side. The way that, I forget, I have such bad memory, but whoever got those 2 picks, once those 2 picks were down, the whole Eco team started swinging off of each other to just wipe out 8 Basils. That was like, they knew they had the numbers, and they were like, yo, let's just swing them. We're gonna throw nades, and they're not gonna be able to take all of us out at once. And they were able to just swarm outside of that B site and get those picks.
Yeah, that was beautiful, especially the way they played it. They made sure that it wasn't a 1v1 situation every time, it was a 2v1, and they also made sure they were not lining up with each other to get the double pick with the collat if needed. Unfortunately, for Eco, I believe it was Blue Slayer that did get the double pick as they pushed out, but because of that third player, they were able to take him out easily. That was a great play, as you were saying, making sure that they made their numbers known as we get into round number 9 here. An immediate push through Hatch as they droned out Hatch. 8 Basils realizes that there's nobody in kitchen, so they're able to drop Hatch. Incen goes out to try to deny anything quick coming out. Blue Slayer is waiting. Nade gets thrown into green, takes a little bit of damage on Hashtag as Hashtag is going for the pre-fire here. They get a little intel out on Malicious Panda. Hashtag pushes up and takes out E2 Smooth. However, losing most of his health. Evil Yard does have that stim, though. This could be really well for Eco as Blue Slayer takes out Crush from Kitchen. Wall gets blown here. Evil Yard gets taken out by the trips. We've seen like full trip kills here. We need better droning from both teams, but beautiful util placement from both teams on defense as well. Malicious Panda and Hee are pushing up towards the wall. Hee gets some shots out. Evil Yard takes out Hee, taking no damage in the process. Malicious Panda takes out Evil. As BT takes out Blue Slayer, we're now left to a 1v3 with Malicious Panda versus BT. He's going to push up, takes out BT, pushes up, but does not take out Hashtag, as Hashtag takes out Malicious Panda for an Eco win. It is now 5-4. I believe these two teams are pretty even, and it's going to come down to who is the better team on the better half.
Yeah, Eco is... Like I said, they took 2 rounds on attack, and once they switched to defense, that's 3 straight rounds for them, and now they're up 5-4. And I love how Eco is playing right now. This is great team chemistry, and they're able to play off of each other and get these refrags and get these picks, and they're able to get the trip mine kills. We gotta see the better drone work. And what I've noticed is that the trip mines they're in the default areas, but they're still getting picks. So you have to make sure you're checking for these trip mines, no matter like if you think, oh, there's no way there's gonna be one here. You still gotta look. But nonetheless, Eco with a 5th round one.
So I'm not quite sure if the trip mines are going to get a kill this round, as they are in B site here, and it seems like it's going to be a quick A from this team. Right. Hashtag might hear them actually. Hashtag's pushing out, seeing if he can take them out with that. Aril gets the drone. Will he get taken out? No, E2 Smooth pushes up, does end up taking out Hashtag. Now they get a full engine control here. The entire other team knows. Dot gets a wall bang on Malicious Panda. What an incredible wall bang. Flash goes out. Gets E2 Smooth pushes up, gets 2 picks, but Crust gets the refrag on him. We're now left to a 2v2. Blink and you miss it, Juice. There's still 2 minutes left on the clock. 5-4. Crust and Dot, the only players remaining for Eco. Blue Slayer and Hee, the only players remaining for 8 Basils. It was in favor of 8 Basils, but that stim goes out. Now Eco has the favorable health in this 2v2. Crust looking to throw the Incen. Will he see that He's in that corner? He throws the Incen. Would have been better to hold out his gun. No, nonetheless, he takes a lot of damage on Hee. 50% of his health. Blue Slayer takes out Crush. It is now down left to a 1v2. Wall is probably going to get thrown. Will he see him? Dot pushes up. He sees Blue Slayer. Does not get the kill, however. Does take a lot of damage. Now he is left in an unfavorable situation. He pushes up, tries to take out Blue Slayer, and unfortunately cannot, as 8 Basils gets their first round on attack. And you start to wonder these little plays. While yes, the Incen was a good play on Cross to push that, but you wonder if he calmed out on that doorway, would it have been better just to get the pick there with the gun? Could that have gone the other way? Nonetheless, it doesn't matter regardless, because I'm not trying to critique on players. I'm just looking at the greatness that comes from both of these teams, and it seems like even though 8 Basils had less health, it didn't matter.
Yeah, and I want to add on to what you said at the beginning of the round about the trip mines being on the other site. The trip mines were on the main push that everyone's pushing, and that's why it's so nice to do off-meta pushes sometimes, because there was zero utility on the other site except for that door blocker that was on the door. So they were able to take that engine room without any trips, so there were no kills from utility, and 8 Basils was able to take control of the site, but Blue Slayer was able to get that final pick and tied up 5-5.
Yeah, now we see the trip mines on the back door here because they could be expecting another off-meta push here. It seems like it is correct as Blue Slayer and hashtag trade picks here. E2 Smooth pushing up. Will he see the trip mines on the back of A? He pushes up, does see the trip mines. Dot ends up pushing towards that kill. Gets nothing. E2 Smooth pushes up through the trip mines, gets the pick on Dot, and Crush refrags 2 players. He gets the pick, and then BT refrags him as Evil Yart gets the final kill. What a dominant play by Eco, however close. Juice, dare I say, could this be the first cast that you and I get with 3 maps?
Hey, that would be awesome, but Eco was able to shut that push down. 8 Basils was able to take out that player on the hatch, but because Eco had a player on the hatch, once he died, whoever died was like, hey, it's gonna be a hatch push. Be ready to sit in that site and get ready. And once those players dropped, Eco was able to swarm them and win that round and go up 6-5 on match point. Will we go into overtime, or is Eco gonna put this one away, Scorch?
I don't know. It's gonna be close if 8 Basils can play the way they did 2 rounds ago, and they almost did it again. It seems like the aggression here from off-meta pushes, it might be time to try it again. However, 3 in a row, I feel like it would be more expected from Eco as hashtag is looking towards that doorway with Evil Yart pushing, trying to see if he can get his close refrag here. We see a more scattered defense. BT is downstairs looking to flank, pushes around, see if he can get the flank on the A as hashtag takes out Blue Slayer. Blue Slayer tries to push up quick, hashtag punishes him. However, it seems like it's getting more predictable that they are just going to do off-meta pushes. He and E2 Smooth pushing towards that window of kitchen. He swings in. Will hashtag hear it? Hashtag does hear it and pushes up. Hashtag has been using the Ariel for 3 rounds in a row. It seems to be working for him as he's looking at that hatch. Will he get the pick on He or E2 Smooth? E2 Smooth might be pushing up. He does see him, gets no damage done. E2 Smooth pushes up, and what a beautiful pick to get no damage done to him. It doesn't seem like hashtag could see him. And he gets a second pick through the wall. 2 headshots on Dot. Holy moly. As they blow the foam, E2 Smooth gets a 3rd kill. He's on 8th watch. Nade gets thrown out. Pushes up. See if he take out Crust. He takes out Crust. However, there's a 3v1 with BT on flank. I don't think they realize he's on flank. He can get a pick here. Gets 1 pick. Pushes up. Can he get the second? No. He gets the second. As E2 Smooth gets the first 3 kill and he gets the next 2. What a valiant effort from both of these guys as they combined for 31 kills.
Yeah, they are.
It is now overtime.
Oh my goodness. Whoever was sitting on those plants, I don't know how, but they died without getting any damage taken off on the... Oh, I gotta switch the leaderboard really quick. It was hashtag versus E2 Smooth, and it was... I think E2 Smooth might have pushed it just perfectly. That hashtag didn't see his head in time. Yeah, that was great. But even, they still lost the... Wait, no. The attack won.
No, they won.
Yeah, the attack won.
Yeah, they won.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, I like that push, and what a, like I said, what a valiant effort from E2 Smooth and he as they're averaging basically like 3 kills a round,
yeah,
almost
pretty
between each other. Like it's incredible how they're playing. 31 kills on 12 rounds, now going into the 13th round here. This is exciting, Juice. I really feel like we'll see 3 maps, and I really hope we do see 3 maps. As we get into round number 13, Drone goes out. Drones to see if he can drone out Green. Green is clear, but Red, however, we can see that Red is not really that clear. E2 Smooth gets the picks on Trip Mines again. The same spot. They need to either drone out or just check corners. Unfortunate play there from Eco. However, there's going to be a little bit of wall bangs here, as Evil Yar is trying to get a couple of wall bangs. Possible he could push towards getting the Marui, pushes the Vezin back. Evil Yar is waiting for wall to be foamed, as Dot pushes up. Wall is blown. Will they get the second wall blown? Yes, they will. Crust is looking to push or get the second wall right now. Second wall is blown. Static goes down. Incense is down. There's 2 statics on that wall. E2 Smooth takes out hashtag. Dot takes out E2 Smooth, one of the giants. Can he take out the second? Dot takes out Malicious Panda. That second giant is still up. Plant goes down. Blue Slayer goes for the nade. Gets the pick. I did not think that was close enough. He gets the pick, and the incense goes off, possibly a little too soon. Now it's left to a 2v3 with Evil Yar and Dot, the remaining 2 players here against the 3, including one of the giants of 8 Basils. However, they're not really in the best spots to deny this plant right now. It seems like that they're just going to have to take position here as Evil Yar tries to push up. Blue Slayer's going to push out. Takes out Evil Yard. Dot takes out Dynamite. He's going to have to ace if he wants his team to win the round. He gets 4 picks.
Oh.
No, he can't get the 5th. Oh, that was so close. He would have had to have aced for his team to win the match. Unfortunate for Eco, but props to 8 Basils, and they could not take down the 2-headed monster right there. They only took down 1 head. One head went down, 3 grew back, and were able to take the round. Or 8 Basils. What an incredible play by E2 Smooth. Just every team or every player around. What a great first match. In overtime, I'm excited for the rest.
Scorch, and once again, I know it, and you know what I'm gonna say. But
droning. They died.
The trip mines on round 13, man.
He died to the same trip mines. The same trip mines from the previous 2 rounds that they were there.
Dude, that kills you, dude. Round 13, everything on the line, and you died a utility that could have and should have been droned out. Is just such a killer for your team. Oh.
I think if they died to, there might be a server change here, possibly changing out. But if they died to the same trips in 3 separate occasions, maybe it's not just droning in that situation. Maybe it's a calm thing. Maybe the team needs to calm a little more to their players. I know I fall victim to just complaining when I die, but you need to make sure if you complain, you still need to make sure you get that comms to your teammate, being like, I died to this trip. Make sure to watch it this coming round, or hey, we're on this round. I died at the trips 3 rounds ago. Just make sure to watch that area. Like you said, the droning was a big issue when it came to utility. Not so much flank watch and all that kind of stuff, players, but utility, because not just players, utility can get kills too. And I think they just need to get better at droning, and they need to get better at calming. Just utility. I feel like with everything else, they played pretty well.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things about this game is communication and teamwork. And you need to have someone dedicated to being able to drone and figure out where this utility is. That's my role for my team. I mean, every round on attack, you will see me with a drone checking out and being a support for my team, because losing teammates to things that you shouldn't be dying to, like trip mines, it's such a killer for your team and can just destroy a push. And actually, I see Mr. Nice Guy in the chat. I am with Scorch. So What's going on? We actually have 7 viewers, so make sure you
Oh,
guys...
hello, Mr. Nice Guy.
Make sure you
Long
guys are
time no
subbing.
see.
Yeah, the homie Scorch. You know what I mean? And it seems like we have our players here. Not sure why they left. I don't think we had any subs. And we're going to ship Scorch, so...
I like Ship. I think Ship's a little underrated. I think teams. This map can really go either way. I feel like it's slightly more defensive sided than offensive sided, but this map can go either way here. I'm excited to see how both teams will use their attacking I guess mechanics. I don't know. To be able to win this round here, because with a good attacking team, this map can be extremely offensive sided.
Yeah, and by the way, I was not told what the bans are, so I'm not sure which maps are banned. But this is a huge game for Eco. Can you guys send it to a map 3, or is Basils gonna win this and close it up very fast? We will see. But going into round 1, we actually have spectrals from every single player except Dot on Eco. He hasn't bought a gun yet, so I hope he buys it. No, it seems like he's going with a Jesper. Okay, so Dot is going with the Jesper. Everyone else has spectrals. We do have foam and nade and ensign on the attack. I wonder what site we're pushing. It seems like an A push. We have BT and Dot outside this A hall. We do have a drone, but they're pushing in before the drone is even checking the area. One player playing close on the double door, but BT able to get that shot. And Crust with a bit of a delayed drone. They're already outside the objective. As Hashtag gets another pick off on the E2 Smooth in the hall. 8 Basils getting their players taken out. Hashtag is only 1 HP, so anything will kill him. Foam is going down on these walls now. Let's see how Basils is able to play this. Foam is tossed over to the opposite A wall to get the second wall open. Ensign comes out, doesn't get any tags, but Dot and BT are in sight now. Swinging out behind the A-bomb, takes out 1, takes out 2. Even Yard BT and Dynamite left in a 1v4. EMP is going down. They know he's outside this breach. And Evil Yard and BT able to get the refrag and take out Dynamite. Good push from Eco, and they are able to take out the roamers and take that A site very fast. I wonder if maybe I don't know, because the drone, Crust had a drone, but it seemed like Eco, their team, didn't even wait for the drone. They just walked in and it didn't matter because they were able to get the picks. But I don't know, they won that round, so kudos to them.
Yeah, in that situation, it's kind of a 50-50 toss up there, especially round 1, where trip mines typically aren't bought. If they are, they're bought between 2 separate teammates. But they got lucky there. Eco got lucky, pushing in immediately and realizing that there were no trip mines on that door. They could have easily gotten killed by the trip mines and immediately gone down, and possibly even gone down for that pick again on that door if it had gone different ways. So I think Eco, while it worked for them now, needs to slow down.
Yes, I could not agree more with you. They need to let this drone clear out the utility before they push in. Blue Slayer able to take out the drone relatively fast. So Eco Eco didn't really get too much information, but Evil Yart takes the medbay, takes control of the medbay room. Foam is on the wall, and E2 Smooth taken out from a wall bang outside the bathroom hallway. Wall is open. BT has the EMP. Maybe he's gonna walk in and go for the plank. Yes, he walks over to the sink, getting the EMP down. There's instants everywhere, so 8 Basils can't even push yet. He malicious. He takes out Evil Yart, and Crust takes out Dynamite on the flank. Oh, BT takes out He's sitting by the refrigerator. Blue Slayer gets 1 and gets 2, and he's now left in a 1v2, but he does have the health advantage. Both of these Eco players are one shot. One player sitting in bunks, one sitting by birthing. Let's see how Blue Slayer plays this. He's going to crouch walk through the breach maybe. Walks in the med bay and takes out one, and it's now a 1v1. But Blue Slayer running out of time has to try to go for the EMP. And, ooh, freaking Dot with the flick. Having that Vezin, able to get that headshot and win the round for Eco. So good play by Eco to get that EMP down and hold it.
What a ballsy move buying a Vezin round 2, by the way.
I was about to say, yeah, that... Usually you see Omens on round 2. If you have a Vezin on second round, you are confident. And they were able to capitalize off it, so risk paid off.
Yeah, Dot said, "Juice, Scorch, hold my beer." In that situation, what an incredible play by Dot. However, I got to go back to that drone. That drone, great job droning birthing. You droned out if there were people there, but there was no sight of util. Luckily, there was no util there, but they just droned out super quick. Did not drone the flank. Looked to drone towards medical. Maybe it was supposed to be a fast push. I'm not sure. I feel like that drone could have been utilized a little differently. Again, Eco is getting in and kind of, in my opinion, lucking out with not having the util there and just 8 Basils not being prepared.
Ooh, Dynamite tried to hold down Armory, but that drone scared him off and he was able to get taken out very fast. So we have a bit of an off-meta push here. E2 Smooth actually gets a pick with a Spectral off onto a Vezin. Holding this instant and taking a toss it, and oh, they know E2 Smooth is in the corner. Very low on health. Anything will kill him in that nade, even from far away. E2 Smooth only had a few points of HP, so he's able to get taken out, and just like that, it's a 4v2 in favor of Eco, but Blue Slayer is off on this flank, so he might be able to get a pick off on the hashtag, and he does. He turns it into a 3v3 as Dot and Evil storm the A site, able to take out one, and it's now a 3v2. Malicious Panda over in the B side has to make a bit of a rotate over to A, but Dot hears the audio cue, and Dot with the one hand headshot off on the Malicious. It's now a 3v1, but they know that Blue Slayer's off on that flank. Evil tried to go for a bit of an ego swing right there, and Blue Slayer able to get that pick. Wonder if he's going to try to grab this Vezin off the ground, as he only does have a Viper. He does pick up a Vezin, and he takes out another. And Crust, now he's in a 1v1 with Crust, both at 100 health, both equally matched with guns. Let's see how Blue Slayer play. Ooh, going for that swing. He had his gun down, but maybe he tried to play that a little too fast. He had time to maybe crouch walk around the corner. Giving that audio cue was vital for Crust to be able to swing that and get that pick.
Yeah, I didn't really see any drone go out there. I'm sure there was a drone. I liked the first pick that they got on Malicious, or I think it was Dynamite actually, that they got on Dynamite, kind of sandwiching him towards that little corner. I like that, and while Eco did play a little bit better, it seems like that they're playing super aggressive here. Maybe it's just working on ship. I don't know, Juice. I don't know if you're thinking about what I'm thinking about, but it seems like they're getting a little not lucky when it comes to winning the round, and lucky when it comes to getting the gun skills, because that's all purely skill there. But I think they're getting lucky when it comes to not running into util at this point.
Yeah, and utility has been a big part, especially for the last match, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see trip mine kills here soon, but hopefully these drones are able to join it. We actually have a double drone coming in through the same area, and it actually doesn't work. He takes out one, takes out a second. Oh, goodness. He.
Good for ground.
And there's also trip mines on the door, so Evil Yard, I think he hears them. But he really
did ping the trip.
He did.
He did ping the trip.
Dynamite needs to try to get this stem over to He. Yeah, Yard does bait the trip mines. He's actually going for the swing. Crust isn't paying any attention, and he takes out two. This is for the ace. Oh, he doesn't get the fifth. Dot takes out He. But now he's left in a 1v4 wall coming out, and he's taken out from the hallway. E2 Smooth and 8 Basils takes their first round of map 2.
This is where the aggression does not work. They pushed in a little too quickly there. It seems like that they can only play aggressive on areas that they can take control of. In that situation, they just dropped the hatch and immediately went into sight, and it costed them. I see the double drone, and it finally droned out a trip. It finally pinged the trip. However, it didn't drone any of the flank.
Yeah, and that's what kills you. Yep. And the drones went to the same exact door. I don't know if you saw that, but they both went to the site door instead of one droning the flank and one droning the actual site. So maybe a little bit of miscommunication there from Eco.
I think Eco is playing this very well. I think they do need to drone in terms of gun skills. Like I'm saying, in terms of gun skills and their game sense, I think they're playing it very well. I just think that they are getting a little lucky with the util usage. They need to make sure that and before running in that the util is available.
Oh, terrible nade from E2 Smooth. Oh man, I think.
And Blue Slayer runs out and gets to pick.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Blue Slayer got a pick from outside. E2 Smooth tried to throw a nade, and I think the guided throwing messed him up, and it just dropped right to his feet. So, unfortunate there for E2 Smooth. And Blue Slayer gets another pick, and Evil Yart off on the vent outside red takes out one, and he actually picked up his gun. So now he has a Marui. And Evil Yart takes out another. E2 Smooth takes out Crest. So Evil Yart in a 1v3 takes out one. And Blue Slayer coming from the vent. Dynamite in sight. Dynamite gets off on two. Evil Yart. And Lee Basils wins a second round in a row.
You know, they Eco won the first 3 rounds, and I was kind of leaning towards them winning possibly 1 or 2 more. But it makes sense that 8 Basils is coming back here. With the way that Eco won the first 3 rounds, it makes sense. It seems like it's starting to bite Eco in the butt, and I think that I really hope that they realize it. I really do, because I'm kind of pulling for Eco on this map. I want to see a third map. Biased caster opinion. I want to see a third map.
I'd love
so
to as well.
I'm pulling for Eco a little bit. I just really hope that they realize their mistakes in the last basically 5 rounds. And their heavy mistakes that they've been costing the last 2 rounds to get this win. They can go up 4-2 here. Eco, come on.
Okay, unbiased caster's opinion. I'm not pulling for either team. I am 50-50. So we will see how this goes. Eco pushing in fast.
I'm 50-50 after this map.
Okay, the drone did see the trips, I believe. And BT actually has a laser on his gun. Nade comes out, gets a little bit of damage on BT. And he's sitting and birthing. Gets a pick off on the window, but he's refragged by Crust. It's now a 4v4. Blue Slayer sitting close from this double door. Takes out one and takes out... Whoa, he gets a second. Excuse me. Takes out a third. Blue Slayer on a clinic. BT just went through birthing and he just reloaded. I think he heard the mag drop. BT takes out one, but he's one-handed by E2 Smooth around the corner in mid bay. Very fast round, and 8 Basils is able to tie it up going into half.
We're starting to see another giant on the 8 Basils side, starting at 11-3 for Blue Slayer.
Hey, that's huge. That's huge. Sometimes you just need someone to go off, you know. Maybe he's mad that they lost. Wait. What team is he on? Oh, wait. I have my thing mixed up. The side flip. The side flip. I was about to say he's on the other team.
Yes, you got 8 Basils.
I gotta switch my thing.
Yeah, I like this. It was a 3-3. Started 3-0, and then 8 Basils realized what they were doing wrong and fixed it. They started putting the util where they needed and able to be like, hey, listen, why did we stop playing aggressive? Let's push towards and play that aggression. That's exactly what they did there. They didn't even they barely let them enter birthing.
Yeah, and that round ended very fast. Like, that was a very good defensive hold.
Yeah, as we get into round number 7 here, E2 Smooth drones out, looking for those trips. He is effectively droning here, in my opinion. What a great drone from E2 Smooth, making sure everything is clear for his team. Blue Slayer, Malicious Panda, and Dynamite push up. He pushes quick and takes out BT on the flank. Gets an instant for himself. Did they buy foam? Nobody has foam here. They just push into sight. E2 Smooth takes out hashtag Torrent kill for Dot. Rush takes out Dynamite. As Dynamite gets the refrag, Malicious Panda pushing up. Evil Yard pushes up and takes out Blue Slayer, or takes out Malicious Panda, and Blue Slayer takes out Evil Yard. What a quick round, and it almost costed 8 Basils for not buying foam.
No, they actually did buy foam. They popped the wall. I thought they didn't have it either. Someone must have tossed it, because at the end of the round they did end up popping the wall.
Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say it, because I thought they didn't buy foam either, but after they walked into the site before popping the wall. That was very strange, but I mean, it worked out. It worked, but that's not usually something you see, walking the site before the walls are even popped, but they still won the round off it, so I gotta keep my mouth shut, you know.
Yeah, I've had my fair share of eating my own words just on the cast that I have with you.
It happens. You know.
It absolutely happens. I am I'm trying not to be biased here, Juice. I really am. I'm trying not to, but like I want to see a third map for this round. I'm kind of really hoping that Eco pushes up towards what they need to do. Nonetheless, we get into round number 8 here. 2 minutes, 22 seconds on the clock. Taking control of Birthing, E2 Smooth pushes up. Will BT kill him with that RCP? It's possibly pushes in. He's hiding that laser sight. E2 Smooth swinging in. Will he hear it? E2 Smooth sees the laser sight and takes out BT. Blue Slayer takes out Cross. I'm surprised he didn't hear that. With hashtag taking out Blue Slayer, hashtag taking out He. The Giant is down. Dynamite taking out hashtag 2v3. Very winnable for Eco here. They need to square up, though. Need to make sure that these are taken care of. Dot takes out E2 Smooth. Malicious Panda gets the refrag on Evil Dart, and Dot gets the final 2 picks on Dynamite and Malicious Panda on 4 HP. That's why you need 100 health, folks. 4 to 4.
Oh, that was not looking like it was going to go into Eco's favor. They had 2 early picks against them, and whoever was sitting in Birthing with that RCP, they did have a laser, so it gave away their position, and whoever swung through the window was able to get that pick. But Eco, even with the numbers disadvantage, they were still able to hold down the 4 and win that round and tie it back up 4 to 4.
I'm honestly surprised that he didn't hear him swing in.
Yeah,
he was sitting right next to it, and the window was open.
Yeah, you are right, but I don't know. they still won the round, so.
Yeah, they did win the round. That is true. I maybe I should just shut my mouth and let these guys play. It seems like every single time I kind of give them advice, it just seems to always work in their favor and against me. So
it's the caster curse. It's the caster's curse.
It is. I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like it's the caster's curse on the caster.
Yeah.
Get into round number 9 here. 4 to 4. Eco and 8 Basils. He's like a very quick push and a very quick A push. Nonetheless, Evil Yard, Dot, and Cross looking on the flank. Blue Slayer takes out Evil Yard. Excuse me, not the flank, the site. Dot takes out Blue Slayer. That's a nice little refrag by Dot. Will hashtag... No, hashtag decides to push back. Dot looking to peek up. Will he get that pick? Cross gets a bunch of wall bangs. Unfortunately, no hits. Still trying to go for those wall bangs. Wall is blown by E2 Smooth. E2 Smooth flashes and pushes up with that cloak. Gets immediately taken out by Dot, but Dynamite refrags Dot. Cross goes for his gun, gets the gun. Will he push up? BT takes out Malicious Panda. He takes out BT. What a nice little refrag again. It is now down to a 2v2. Insend out. It seems like it was a little bit of a misplay on that insend. It seems like the guided throwing did not help him in that situation. He pushes up. Tries to see if he can take out hashtag, but gets taken out by Crush. Dynamite on the other side with EMP. Can he plant here? Will they see? He's shaking a little bit. He can get this plant off. I think he can get this plant off as Crush pushes up. Will he see him? No, he does not. And hashtag doesn't see him, and Dynamite gets 2 picks here. Both of them ran in again with their guns down. Yes, it is sight, but you have to be ready for anything here.
That was a great rotate, going through that vent, crouch walking, making no noise. That was a huge play by Dynamite to win that 1v2 for his team. And I see Updog in the chat. Who won first round, or who won first map? 8 Basils won first map 7 to 6. Right? 8 Basils won. Yeah.
Yes, it was 8 Basils, 7 to 6.
Yep. And it was on Arctic. So now it's going. They're still neck and neck right here. Eco, I mean, they're not going down without a fight. 5-4 in favor of 8 Basils, but still very, very close. All these rounds are coming down to 1v1s, 1v2s. Like, it's definitely just going back and forth.
This is a very close match, and I believe that if Eco loses, it's going to be off of another overtime. I feel like we are going to see another overtime this map, and I feel like if they lose, they're going to lose the match 2-0, 14-12, which is the closest that you can get without going to a third map here. We get into round number 10. Blue Slayer immediately with the pick on Dot. Cross gets the pick on Blue Slayer. E2 Smooth gets the refrag on Cross. Beautiful refrags that we see here. 8 Basils pushing up quick. Hashtag takes out He on the roam and sprints back to sight here. What a beautiful, beautiful pick to move back. And now he's back in sight as 8 Basils are now taking advantage of the fact that it was a 2v3 on sight. Wall gets blown. Flash gets thrown out. Other wall gets blown. Will they blow it? Yes, they will. Malicious Panda blows it. E2 Smooth pushes in, takes out BT. Will he push in? Yes, he does. Takes out hashtag. And he takes out Evil Yards. What a beautiful 3K from E2 Smooth here. They blink and you miss it, Juice. That was an incredible play by E2 Smooth here, realizing that he could just push up because he took out BT here, and hashtag was sitting, I believe, around the bomb. His gun was up, but E2 Smooth had the better gun there. So in that situation, all he had to do was hit the head, and he did. What a beautiful play by E2 Smooth.
That was great, getting that 3K, and he stormed in, got 2 picks, and that last player was still fighting someone outside the breach. So E2 Smooth able to come just right behind him and get an easy 3K to put his team on match point. So Eco, it's all or nothing now. You gotta buy everything you can, utility, do everything you can. You cannot let 8 Basils win another round here if you want a chance to come back. So let's see.
Yeah, this is going to be close. Again, I still feel confident in the overtime. I really do. I feel like Eco can push back. Please don't let me eat my words, Eco. As hashtag now is in the hands of the Aril, and it did work very well for him last map. Let's see if he gets that same amount as E2 Smooth pushes up immediately and kills BT. Will he push up? No, Evil Yard takes out E2 Smooth. Blue Slayer pushes up. This is a very, very fast push. And now they have complete control of B. He will push up to try and take out Dot here. Dot pushes up. Blue Slayer jumps down. See if he can plant on the... it looks like it seems like he cannot.
No.
And Crush sees that. Beautiful play by Crush. Well, he realized that the EMP is there. All he needs to do is hold that spot. And he pushes up.
Oh my god.
He gets taken out by Crush. It is now down to a 1v1. EMP is there. Will Crush clutch it up? Crush, I believe in you. Let's see this happening. Dynamite pushes up. Will Crush check his corner? Yes, he does.
Oh my god.
And he takes out Dynamite. 5-6. What a beautiful play from Crush. Crush, that was a beautiful, yes, you can celebrate.
What did we just see? Oh,
He killed the guy. He killed the guy working so hard to get that EMP down on Vent and ended up putting the incend down who was it? All he had to do was just shoot him.
Oh, that was a collapse of 8 Basils. They had that in the bag. They had control of sight, and I think they were trying to go for a cheeky little plant, which I don't even know if you can plant on that vent area. So that was just
Doesn't
kind
look
of
like you can.
yeah, that was just a bit of a misplay from 8 Basils, and that was just wow. I cannot believe Eco was able to clutch that up, and now it's 5-6. We might see another overtime.
I'm really hoping, Juice, that we see another overtime, and it could really go either way here. I feel like Eco does, if they win, it doesn't seem like they will win. It seems like 8 Basils will get the score advantage. I think 8 Basils might choose defense here because they have the momentum pushing towards defense. Nonetheless, we get into round number 12 here. Blue Slayer 16-8. E2 Smooth and Hee both combined for 22 kills, 11 apiece. E2 Smooth pushes up, gets a little bit of wallbang damage, but does not get anything else on Crust. He doesn't even get BT. He could not realize that BT is here. E2 Smooth is pushing up again. Please, BT, hear him this time. I think he hears him drop in. He could swing. He could wait. Seems like he's waiting, pushing up a little bit. The incense goes down, but not in time as E2 Smooth hears it and pushes him and punishes him. Hashtag E2 Smooth is playing this so well.
Yes.
He sees that Crust pushed up towards the wall. He incensed and started blind firing. Blue Slayer pushes up, takes out Dot. E2 Smooth pushes up, takes out Crust and Evil Yar. It is now down to a 1v4. If Hashtag can clutch this up, we see an overtime on map number 2. No, Dynamite wins. 8 Basils wins the series here. What an incredible play by both teams, and 8 Basils just barely had the edge over Eco.
Yeah, you gotta give credit to both teams. That was a very fun matchup, and E2 Smooth. That was a great entry off into medbay to get those picks. The way he played that was it was so smart with the ensign on the door, going for the wall bangs, just getting those picks. They played that so well, and they were able to counter that defense and win map 2 and take the series.
Yeah, incredible play by both teams. Don't get me wrong. Eco played super well. Yep. There were flaws on both sides, but Eco, this was as close of a game as you can get. 6-7 and 5-7. That's just nonetheless great play by 8 Basil to win this series, and great play by Eco to give it their all there.
Yeah, that was great, but that will do it. 8 Basils and Eco. 8 Basils takes it in 2 maps. But thank you everyone who is in the stream watching. I have been your host, Juice, joined today by Scorch or Rex, whatever you want to call him, the great.
Just call me Scorch, it's fine.
The GOAT himself, Scorch. I love having you with me, Scorch. You're so fun to cast with. You're freaking awesome.
Of course, I'm glad to join.
I always have a good time with you, and that will do it. Thank you everyone for watching. Congratulations to 8 Basils for winning that. And until next time, everyone, goodbye.
See ya.